Here I am then, just setting up, putting my hands into the paddles to begin using my new stretch cords, which we're going to make full use of in this period when we can't get in the pool. So the first thing I want to do here is activate the lats. So we're talking about these small muscles here at the top of the side body, if you like, as my physio Louisa calls it, underneath the armpit. Now, one of the things I think age groupers miss out on is utilising the lats. They're big muscles, and if you don't use them fully, you're never going to be able to swim to your optimum. So this is something that we are going to try and do with this activity. You'll see it's just a small pulsing of the forearm below the elbow, backwards and forwards, just to activate these. And if I wasn't wearing this hoodie, you'd probably be able to see this more clearly. So we can do this with both arms at the same time, as I'm doing there, or we can hold one arm out and inactive and then just pulse with the other arm. Okay, so again, doing both arms there. So next we want to simulate the catch. Now the thing about the catch is that you want to have a high elbow. When people talk about a high elbow in swimming, they sometimes refer to the position of the elbow during the recovery, but most coaches are referring to the position of the elbow under the water, and this elbow here wants to remain high. So just going to the position of my upper body and the bands, you'll see that the fixing point is a couple of feet above my head level. That's because of the restriction of the fence here. I have nothing to fix it on down here. Ideally it will be fixed near this center panel, but it isn't. But you will see that my upper body is in line with the fixing, so you could say that the surface of the water is just sort of like a 20-degree downward line here. So my elbow will be just below the surface of the water, and in the next movement what you'll see is that this elbow should stay in that position and the forearm should move underneath it to, well, just get a better position. So the elbow here, look, is still pretty high, but the forearm is now vertical. There's a slight kink in my wrist there, between wrist and hand. Probably don't want to have that. You want to be pushing back here, and that's a bad habit, and I need to use this period of time with these paddles to correct that as well. But the emphasis really is on keeping the elbow high and working on the mechanics and movement patterns of that early part of the catch to get the forearm from horizontal to vertical. And that then means we can use the whole of the upper arm and the forearm and the hand here as the paddle to catch the water before we move on to the next phase of the stroke. So here we've got one arm fixed and we're doing the movement with the other arm. You probably want to do 10 reps here. That'll be enough, and then rest that arm and use the arm that was resting previously to do the work. Now we're going to go on to more of a butterfly stroke. So we're keeping the elbows high again, but trying to get the forearm to move underneath. And it's important to teach your body what it feels like to have that elbow high. In the next few weeks, you're going to have plenty of time out of the water, so it's a good opportunity to work on this. Okay, now we're going to try and do this with a single arm, but we're going to move into a full stroke. So you see, here, start off with arm straight out, elbow high, then move into high elbow. At this point, the elbow's out to the side, the forearm is vertical and pointing down towards the bottom of the pool, the hand is straight below it. The lat muscles contract, so we've activated them here. They then contract to perform a movement which is called adduction. So it's bringing the humerus, the upper arm, and the bone of the upper arm back into the side. Okay, that's the action. That's one of the muscle actions of the latissimus dorsi, is to bring that upper arm back to the side of the body. And if we can get those lats to activate and do that, we've created a whole new dimension for our swimming. So once we've gone past this point of getting the catch and the purchase, and we've sort of moved, rather than in the water, you wouldn't be moving your body forwards. Well, sorry, you're not moving the arms backwards. You're moving your body over the arms forwards. So think of levering yourself out of the pool as your arms stay where they are on the side of the pool, and you lift yourself above. We've moved ourselves forward here. The arm stays in the same position in the water, and as you get alongside it, now you're going to see the elbow moving back into the side, and we're going to be able to utilize the muscle of the triceps to straighten the arm. So get it next time. So now here, look at the elbow, how much closer it is to the side body and how the arm is straighter. So we've now utilized the muscle power that is in the triceps as well at the back end of the stroke, which is called the push. Keep watching. Catch, push, catch, pull, push. So again, we're trying to create movement patterns that we can remember. We're trying to get muscles to get become used to being in a particular position to do work, so that when we get in the swimming pool, we've created this slightly new technique, and then we can apply it to the water and to our stroke, and hopefully you'll notice some difference. So here we're doing it with both arms like a butterfly stroke, and now we're going to do alternating arms. Okay, so now note that I've added a mirror. The mirror allows me to stand directly in front of it and check from the front that my elbows are high, that I'm not hunching my shoulder up. I've got a tendency to hunch my shoulder up on the left side. You'll see it in a minute. That's because of a weakness that I have, which needs correcting with some dry land work, a bit of mobility and some strengthening, and then some movement pattern work using these cables. So my next 2 or 3 months, while we can't go into the pool, are going to be focused on improving these, as well as the mobility in my shoulders, my upper back and my hips. So what you'll see is, if you look closely, a tendency for this shoulder to give way and move up towards my ear, which is the weakness I have around here and which needs work. So we're doing a double arm catch and push now, like a butterfly stroke. Now we're doing alternating. What you can see, the difference here is the position where I'm fixing the other band is down by my hip rather than with my arm out in front. Doesn't really matter which one you do. What we're trying to do is get the mechanics for the working arm. So now I'm going to try and get a little clever here, and in a moment I'm going to try and do a swim stroke where I'm actually, this is more like a catch up. And now I'm trying to go into a swim stroke. But what you'll also see here, if you haven't got strong wrists, there will be a tendency for the resistance here to bend the wrist backwards. So there is an element of your strength training which should work on strengthening your wrists and your forearms as well, so that you've got a much better body position and hand position when you catch. What you'll also notice is I occasionally get some really good strokes and then I get a poor one. Well, that happens in the pool as well. So there's no reason to think that you should be perfect all the time here, but what you're working towards is more perfect strokes than poor ones.